Hello. Hello.
To be saved. Set the recording quality to high, recording format to MP4, and encoder to hardware. Here at the bottom you'll see a warning for MP4 listed. Just ignore it. I've never had an issue using that format with OBS. Next is audio. You shouldn't need to make any changes here. I use a sample bitrate of 48. As explained earlier, the desktop audio records your computer sounds. Mine is on default. And you can also choose your microphone here. In video, there are key points to go over. In this setting, I can't show you the drop-down menus while recording is active, but for the base resolution, it would be best to set your base resolution to the size of your display.
Looking for the right keywords to reach your target audience? Use the Keyword Magic tool by SEMrush. Get access to an extended keyword database with real users' queries. Sort and filter to get the hottest keywords that will get you noticed. SEM.
Hello everybody, Chris here, and in this video I want to show you guys a complete tutorial for Open Broadcaster software, trying to begin you from the start of installing the program all the way to where you can record or stream videos for either YouTube. So if you don't already know, Open Broadcaster software is a tool for being able to record different video sources straight from your computer, which can include things like your computer screen monitor, the window of a game or web browser. It can include overlays, and if you use programs like Twitch Alerts, you can also set up alerts to pop up on screen while you're playing or streaming a game. Now, although most people probably are going to use Open Broadcaster software for recording video games, it's also really good for doing screencasts. And there's nothing stopping you from using it for doing vlogs either, since it is compatible with webcams or external cameras as long as you can get it hooked up to your PC. So to get started, one of the most basic things you're going to need to set up is a scene. So in the bottom left-hand corner of the program, we see our list of scenes. You can see I have a few set up, and I can actually go between them. You'll notice that these other scenes are recording what's on my screen, and yes, if OBS gets caught there, you're going to get that infinite loop. So how you inside of a scene is that you add sources to your recording inside of OBS. These are individual components, whether that's an image or a video source or something from your computer that you want to show on screen while you're recording your footage. So if we go over here to the sources area, we can right click or hit the plus sign in order to add a new source in. You can see that there's a whole bunch of options here, including display capture when you want to show an entire monitor on screen, game capture for when you want to show a full screen application or a specific game title, image for when you want to show a simple JPEG or PNG image on the screen. It could be good for overlays, particularly if you're going to do PNGs, since those can be transparent and let you have the game hide behind the overlay. You can also add in a video capture device. That would be where you would choose a webcam. And window capture for miscellaneous windows on your computer. So that would be web browsers, or you could add in the OBS window itself, or maybe Notepad++. things like that which aren't games, or if they are games, you're probably using a window capture specifically because the game capture isn't working. So let's create an add button for scenes. You can also do that by right click and then and we're going to call this complete tutorials. So for this complete tutorial scene, let's get started by adding in an image. It's something really simple. So I'm going to add in an image here. So you can see that you can create new or add existing. This is pretty consistent across all the different sources you may want to add in. Because if you have a source in another scene, it's easy to incorporate them into your new scene by just adding the source that exists in another scene. But for right now, we don't have any. So I'm going to just call this a new image, test image. And you can locate an image file from your computer. So for me, I'm just going to go over to this list of logos I have, and let's choose the OBS logo. So when we pop that in, you'll see that it shows the bounds of that image with the red lines. We can left click on any of these bounds and stretch it if we wish. And if you hold shift down while you're clicking on one of the stretching points, you can actually stretch the X and Y axes without them being in equal ratio. Without that, they will always stretch at the normal ratio for the image. If you hold Alt down while you click on one side, you can actually drag one side in if you want to hide part of that image. So when you don't have the entire image showing, it'll turn into a green line representing that you've actually cropped part of that side off, and you can crop as many sides as you want individually if for some reason you only want to show part of your image on screen. And of course you can drag it right back out if you want to undo the cropping. So with this properties for test image window, I'm just going to hit OK, and we can just position this wherever we want. So I'm actually going to shrink this image in ratio and just put it in the bottom right hand corner. And now we can add in another source. So I'm going to right click, go to add, and let's do a game capture source. So for the source name, I'm going to call it Stardew Valley, and this is intentionally going to throw an error. As we'll see when we hit OK, it'll say that the name's already in use. So I don't actually have another game capture called Stardew Valley. So for the name for this game capture, I'm going to call it Stardew Valley and hit OK. So what's going to happen here is it's going to error out because we've already used the name Stardew Valley somewhere else. So even if you don't have a source named Stardew Valley in one of your other scenes, if a scene name itself has the same name, as you can see over here in my scenes list, I have one called Stardew Valley, it's going to conflict. So just something to be aware of. You have to use separate names for everything between your scenes and sources. So I could just put a 2 here, or maybe we call this game capture, underscore game capture, and hit OK. So by default, when you have the properties for a game capture, it's going to show mode capture any full screen application, which probably works for a lot of cases, but you may end up getting the wrong application recording in there if you tend to alt tab between a bunch of applications while you're recording. So what I actually prefer is to click on the mode and go to specific window, and then you can click on this drop down and you can choose from the windows which are currently open on your computer. Now, if you don't see your game and your game is open, you might need